We have all these titles, and we have a corporate team of probably 6, 7 people now, which for us is quite a bit. We have a chief happiness officer that her job is to identify people that are doing great in the company and celebrate them. Not in my wildest dreams, right? A guy from Ronkonkoma selling pizza. We have a chief happiness officer. I had to Google that and see if it was like a real title. And now I'm on to ChatGPT, which is a whole nother world. So my world is changing too.
Thanks for coming on. We've known each other for 30 years, right?
Too long, I think, yeah.
As I was driving over here, I think it was 1995.
Yeah.
Obviously, fair to say, you've been in the pizza space for...
Again, too long, yeah.
At least 30 years?
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy to say, yeah. I started when I was 12, so yeah, I'm 42 years old. And yeah, I used to talk back to my mother, and they would send me to the pizzeria. That was what happened.
And people ask all the time about Geno's because they're familiar. Geno's of XYZ. But
yeah.
Gino is your father.
Just happens to be his name. If it was, I guess, Matteo, like your son or something, it would be Matteo's Pizza, right?
Yeah.
So there's no affiliation with any other Geno's. That's just my father's name, you know?
Right. And the idea of the pizzeria, walk us through that. I think if I'm wrong or right, you started in COVID year.
Yeah. So what happened was they approached Geno's in 2019, late 2019, I think it was, and they wanted to put a pizzeria in the mall, and they wanted to kind of bring back mom and pop pizza to the mall versus the Sbarro type, right, and get away from corporate pizzas. And all that chain. So they must have saw what we were doing at Geno's, and so we kind of grew this business. And the guy mentioned, he goes, "You do an incredible job here. We've had our eye on you, and we would love to know if you're interested in opening the Smith Haven Mall." So I was super interested. I think my partners, me and my brother, cousin, father, uncle at Geno's, I think they were kind of content with where they were at a little bit. And I'm always the guy with like the ants in the pants. So, excuse me. So I'm like ADD boy going 100 miles an hour and I can't sit still. So I said, let's do it. So I reached out to my youngest brother, Danny, who was in finance, and my childhood best friend, Cliff, who just sold his company in tech to private equity. So he was on the sidelines, and he was kind of, him and I have been friends since we're 5, always trying to put something together. Like, he didn't need to be in finance, I didn't need him in pizza, but how can we do something fun together? I thought this was a good opportunity. So he looked at it. We all 3 of us started going to business, and the pizzeria was born. And we opened, we were supposed to open, we signed the lease in late 2019. We were supposed to open April 1st of 2020, and they closed the mall March 23rd of 2020. So it was 7 days out.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, yeah. Right? And they closed the mall, and we were like, now what do we do, right? It was like, it was, newly traveled territory. We didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what to do. And they said, no, you can't open. The malls are shut. And we sat there and waited till the governor gave the thumbs up. And I saw something on the news or on Instagram saying, the malls are opening. So I'm like, what does that mean for us? And 2 days later, we had to go open the mall, which was crazy. That was in July.
How was that just coming out of COVID in that mall environment? I think, was it super slow?
It was tough. It was tough. Like, you know what, though? I guess maybe I'm naive or optimistic, but we weren't nervous, if you want the truth. I mean, I think we were excited to open the new brand. And I think the whole time we just thought it was going to be great, which I guess looking back was a little, ambitious and ridiculous. But we opened up. We were pumped. We had, the new branding, the T-shirts, everything, and we had this grand plan. And we walked into the mall and we set everything up and we went to war and there was nobody to fight. And we realized there was no food court seating. We were obligated to be there by contract now that the mall's officially open for business. People were terrified to come to the mall, right? Everybody's wearing masks, and that's basically a breeding ground, right? So the people that were there to sell to, they were eating slices of pizza on top of those big square garbage pails or sitting on the floor Indian style eating pizza. It was like, again, still not nervous, not scared, just like, tomorrow more people will come. Tomorrow more people will come. And yeah, we just kind of kept our heads down and dug out of it a bit. I think we might have had a few months free rent, if I remember right. So it made it a little easier on us.
And this is inside Smith Haven Mall?
This is Smith Haven Mall in July of 2020.
Do you think that because it was so slow coming out of COVID that it helped you guys kind of
yes.
get going yourself instead of it being like we've seen openings where day one there's just this influx of customers that can kind of you know.
Well, I learned that lesson too. Also, by the way, in the mall, yeah, it gradually grew, but we went to go look at our second location, which again, I'm not sure why we were so ambitious here or aggressive, being inside COVID. But there was a location I looked at once before in Bayport on the South Shore, and somebody brought it up to me again, and we went and looked at it. And I knew the guy, and he was an older Italian man. He was kind of ready to retire. A little hole in the wall pizzeria. I mean, it was, you can imagine. Your typical 70s pizzeria spot needed, long past the renovation, or at least a need for it. And I approached him. He had a door, like a folding table in front of his door, excuse me, and he wasn't letting anybody in. So you go there to pick up your pizza, and he's standing at the front door, grabbing it from his daughter behind the counter with his mask on and going, "You're not coming in. There's nowhere to go in." He's blocking with the table, And I said, "Hey, I'm here to talk." He goes, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "You remembered me." And he goes, "Oh, you're ready, huh?" And we sat down and we kind of made a deal. And that's when the second store was acquired in August of 2020 or September of 2020.
Remembering back, the second store, I remember you saying like, this is going to be the footprint of what the pizzeria is. And you're shaking your head because I think you know where I'm
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
going
go ahead.
And this is kind of twofold because really what the pizzeria is today, and I know you kind of went over it with Gino's, but the basis of what the pizzeria is essentially brings, I think, a cool vibe to pizza, right? It's a staple for so many houses, but essentially it's a bar concept with pizza and sometimes entertainment. So your second store was like, hey, this is the new model right here, and it was completely not, right?
Yeah, I was way off. So in being in Gino's, right, it's like ground and pound, man. That store my family has is so busy. It's takeout heavy, and it's just one after another after another. I mean, it's a staple in
tough,
man.
Ronkonkoma
Yeah, it's
and
tough.
the surrounding areas.
Yes, it's very tough. So I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I didn't want to do. And I wanted to try. In our company, we always said we want to create the world we want to live in, right? And what I did, and what I was non-negotiable for me, was I said to Danny and Cliff, I said, guys, I'm telling you right now, I said, I don't want to do what I don't want to do. And neither do any of us, right? Why not take the things that we love about this business and keep it? And take all the things that I hated from not being able to take off, guys working 70 hours a week, guys, chasing paychecks, and God forbid you took off on a Friday, it was like sacrilegious, and all these things, no family time. I said, throw it all out the window. We can, create whatever we want to do. We can be whoever we want to be, and it's non-negotiable. And we created our core values as a company. That was it. It's one of them was, create the world you want to live in, and that applies to everybody, right? So, to answer your question, very long-windedly, is I said to them, I want these small pizza shops that are going to be very easy to run. For me, coming from that, from Gino's, this will be a piece of cake to run these, and we can just scale it. Shrink the menu, get rid of the big diner menus that nobody orders from anymore. No one's calling the local pizzeria for chicken cacciatore. If you sell 3 a week, go somewhere else type of thing. You know what I mean? Let's condense the menu, make it the fan favorites. And that's what we did because we thought it would be scalable. And little by little, the store started getting bigger, right? And then the third store after we opened Bayport was Islip. We acquired, it was an asset purchase from the Bolson Group, BRG. They had a place called Pizza Palm next door to Teller's. And we saw they weren't open, and we lobbed the call in. And
now that store doesn't have a bar.
No, it just has taps and one. Well, now it just has one tap of beer and wine. So it was beer and wine only, and it was just really at the counter, fast casual.
Right. But still not the model. What
still not
people
the model.
know of the pizzeria essentially.
No, and again, still that's a takeout pizza shop, right? Kind of a little bit bigger than we wanted, but that's it. And then we took that place. And then what you're getting to is we had the opportunity to open up in Bayshore, which was our first bar concept, where we had a 16-seat bar, I believe it is, paired with the pizza side, indoor-outdoor eating, bifold doors that open up on the ferry block, and people are constantly in and off out of the street and on their way to the ferry and on the way back. So that became almost cafe-esque a little bit on the bottom of this brand new apartment building that one of the big developers, Larry Gargano, developed down there. Beautiful, beautiful property. They did Greenview Properties is the name, and they did such a wonderful job. And it turned out to be a home run. Really kind of put us on the map at that point.
Got it. And then so there's 6 stores in total.
Yep.
Right. And 7's coming.
7's coming at the end of the month, hopefully.
What area?
That'll be Smithtown. Smithtown. It was an older place called Bonacera, right in the LA Fitness Shopping Center on Main Street, and that place back in the day was a powerhouse. So I kind of know what it can do. I've seen it happen, and they had a really successful place there many years ago. So it's like having the answers to the test a little bit, right? So I feel really comfortable in that spot. I've looked at it a handful of times over the years, and the timing lined up here, and it worked out. So we kind of scooped it up, and now we're looking for more locations. So all the agents out there, we keep telling them, send us listings. I'd love to try to find another one up on the North Shore to kind of make it worth our while to take the trip up there and kind of spend a day up on the North Shore, then you spend a day on the South Shore, and we could put our footprint and plant our flag up there, hopefully.
Now, part of like expansion, and you have internal expansion, but then the possibility of like franchising and stuff like that, is that something that you guys are looking at, or are you looking to really just kind of keep it within the family and expand that way?
Yeah, I think our goal has always been to build as fast and responsibly as we can, enjoying the ride, which is incredibly important. And that was like a day one thing. I said, as soon as I'm done having fun, like, I'm out of here. Like, there's not enough money in the world to do it. And we really are having fun. This is like a new territory for me, as owning multiple locations and scaling and handing kind of the reins to the team that we're acquiring and building. And we have infrastructure now. We have someone that's head of procurement. We have someone that's head of operations. We have all these titles, and we have a corporate team of probably 6-7 people now, which for us is quite a bit. We have a chief happiness officer that her job is to identify people that are doing great in the company and celebrate them. Like, not in my wildest dreams, right? A guy from Ronkonkoma selling pizza. We have a chief happiness officer. I had to Google that and see if it was like a real title. So, this is what we have. We have an office, and so for me, it's exciting. It's fun. But back to what you said about franchising and the goal, I think it's to build as much value as we can. And I think the goal would be eventually to either hopefully go the private equity route. My partner Cliff comes from finance world originally. He's taken, I believe, two companies public already. He threw that, that hat in the ring at one point and said, I'd love to take this company public. Again, out of my wheelhouse, not really my forte. And I'm like kind of looking at him funny, like, how's that going to work? But
you're like, I just figured out what a chief happiness officer is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still Googling, and now I'm on to ChatGPT, which is a whole nother world. So my world is changing too. So I'm learning as I go. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think franchising never really appealed to us as like, and I don't know all that much about it, but I don't like the idea of kind of working for somebody or answering to somebody else and, supporting that whole thing. It's like, I kind of want to, again, live in the world I want to live in and not have to answer to anybody. So again, I'm not very well versed in that, but I'm certainly open to listening to it and hearing it. If it makes sense, great. But we got to do what is right for our team. And when I say our team, we have an equity plan for our team. So we have probably over 50 people that have stock in our company. So for us, that's our responsibility. It's to our team. It's to make sure that we get over this finish line, whatever that ends up being. We all cash out together, hopefully, or we all celebrate together, because that to me is important. So that's my job, is to make sure that they're taken care of and they're happy.
You think, Paul, that part of the success is the attractiveness of what you guys are doing different? Because I mean, to our knowledge, I don't know anybody that has a chief happiness officer or these other titles, or bringing in ultimately strangers that want to be with the company and grow with the company.
They've been coming to us. It's unbelievable. People want to be in this culture. And I know people throw that word around, like the buzzword of culture. It's real. Our employees are smiling. You come into one of our stores, you can ask the customers, like, everybody's happy when you come in here, right? There's no more of that curmudgeony, pizza guy behind the counter. What do you want? What's up, bro? It doesn't happen. It's absolutely, what can I get you? My pleasure. Not a problem at all. We'll take care of that. And that comes from our biggest core value, I believe we have, is accountability, right? And when we make mistakes, we're not perfect. We make a ton of mistakes, but we're extreme accountability, right? Where it's like, I forgot someone's salad. Typically, I'll count the whole meal. I want them back. I want to build equity, and I want to build trust within, the people that support us, and say, you work hard for that money, right? I'm going to go above and beyond. I forgot your salad. You got to come back and pick it up while the rest of your family's eating, and I ruined your meal. Not acceptable. I don't care if you spent $100. I want you to come back 48 weeks a year. If I make 4 mistakes a year, which is not okay with me, okay, right? But let me comp those 4 checks, right? And make sure you know that you can trust me and that I value your business and your hard-earned money, to be fair. So
what is the pizzeria doing inside community? I mean, I see on social media, but I feel like you guys are trying to take it to another level.
You did your homework, Mike. I like this. It's like we know each other a little bit. You know? It's like
we've known each other for 30 years.
It's like we might have talked about this. We do a ton in the community, and that's always been something that was kind of near and dear to my heart, is what everybody would say, right? But it's true. I remember when COVID hit, even at Gino's, we were feeding the frontline workers. We were giving out, it was thousands of pastas, lunches for all the kids that. Now the school was closed, right? So those kids that were getting free lunch had no lunch, right? And unfortunately, in our neighborhoods, people are in need, right? And I have pictures even on my Instagram carrying all this stuff, they're dropping off at all the Sachem schools where they had the pickups, and thousands of pastas. Why? Those are our customers. Those are people that feed my children, right? So it's now you guys are in trouble. Now it's my turn to help, right? So in the pizzeria, we've taken that a step further. We do pizza kit fundraisers, which are outrageous. I mean, it's become its own company almost. It's a full-time job for somebody organizing, doing with the PTA moms and going back and forth, and the logistics of it. And
PTA moms are tough.
I love PTA moms, Mike. They're the best. I mean, I wish they'd let me in. I mean, I'd want to be a PTA mom myself, but I'm telling you, it's been great and it's been exploding. We literally do it's got to be at least across all locations. I think. Don't quote me, maybe 10 a month, where it's like, might even be more than that actually, but they're coming in, they're picking up pizza kits and they're having an experience at the house with the kids. Wow. So we do that to raise money. We're a yes brand. The amount of gift cards we give out, it's like if someone asks you for a donation, give it to them. Not just not driving from, Brooklyn to take advantage. No, these are the people that live in your community, and give them the gift card and you might get a new customer out of it. That's how I look at it.
That's always, seems like a hot topic because, just giving out, gift cards and maybe you scale it down somewhat, but I know some restaurants where they're like, hey, we've hit our limit for the month, where instead of maybe making it a smaller number, just giving out because people don't forget,
Can't say no.
There has to be some method to that madness.
I would never say, you just can't say no. And the hopes is, and even if it's that person, let's say it was, one of your existing customers, wins the gift card at the Chinese auction. Okay, so they're coming back. You get to see their face, and they come back the following week and the week after that, maybe hopefully twice that week, right? So there's no loss in it, right? It's like hopefully a new customer gets it. They walk in, they see our place, they go, wow, this is great. Everybody really is smiling. The vibe is great. This is cleaner and nicer than the place I go to. Why don't I come here? And now we got a new customer for $25. It's the best, and my cost on the $25, right? So it's like that's the best customer acquisition cost you could probably find.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
What portion of your business is like bar versus food? And
yeah, so it's all different because of the different setups, right? Part of me wishes it was all standardized because the menus would be exact, right? As we got bigger and we started adding the bars in, we expanded the menu a little bit. Again, not as dramatic as like I suggested the diner menu, but we started, we have specials now twice a year and different things like that. But we're trying to really standardize it. But the bar in Babylon is our biggest bar. It's our biggest footprint in general. It's 5,000 square feet. It's a freestanding building. Used to be the old Cooper Street and Clam Bar in Babylon. And that bar is 32 seats, square bar right in the middle of the restaurant with the dining surrounding it. And that bar is full all the time, right? So, percentage-wise, it doesn't equate across the company. Obviously, Islip and Bayport don't have them. But regarding Bayshore, yeah, you do a lot of revenue at that bar, right? So for me, if you want the truth, I'll never open up a restaurant or a pizzeria without a bar ever again in my life. It brings energy, it brings a vibe. So
yeah, and I think the environment has changed so much over the last 20 years. I mean, I think Mike and I talk about it all the time of when we were younger. The nightclubs and bars and stuff, they just don't exist. The restaurant has become the new age
nightclub, right?
Nightclub, right?
And you guys bring in entertainment.
Yeah,
at least in the bigger stores.
Yeah, we do, and especially Bayshore, being on that ferry block, bringing live music. We open up the doors in the storefront, and so people walk into the ferry, they hear the music playing, people pop their heads in, and some people camp out for the day, sit outside with their families and, other friends and to make a night of it. And those are some of the busiest nights. We usually do it on like a Thursday night. And people just come in and it just adds to the vibe. You can hear the music playing down the street. So it's cool. And people just think it's a pizzeria, right? The name is called The Pizzeria. And at the beginning I was like, kind of wasn't positive about it, right? I said, all right, I can get on board with that. But as we've grown as a company, we're not just a pizzeria anymore. And I think we've, in our true, in staying consistent in who we are, we always under-promise and over-deliver. So can you imagine, right? You're driving down Deer Park Avenue from, the North Shore, and, you're with another couple, and we're going out to dinner at a pizzeria, The Pizzeria. And then you get there and you see Babylon, you're like, oh, this isn't just a pizzeria, right? Yeah. We passed 20 pizzerias to get here, and then you got here and you see this big building with a beautiful bar, and now your friend knows, okay, I see what you're doing here. I trust you. I believe you. So now the guy's walking in annoyed, like we're going to another pizzeria. And then he looks in and goes, all right, now we're over-delivering, right? So that's super important.
It feels different when you walk in. Yeah.
I agree.
Is Babylon the new baseline?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard
or is it the flagship?
Flagship right now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the future holds. I would love for it to be the baseline. That'd be fantastic. It's our busiest store at the moment. I hang my hat there mostly at the moment. But I'll be going to Smithtown, and hopefully that'll be the next one. I mean, if Smithtown can be so busy because there's so many office buildings over there. There's a ton of potential, and that 25 up there, that road is just nonstop traffic. So I don't know what to expect, but if you tell me that's the baseline, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
You're obviously I know your wife is the chief happiness officer.
Sure is. She makes me happy every day.
How is that dynamic? Working with your wife. Obviously, Danny's involved in the business, childhood friend. But what is it like with 3 children and your wife involved in the business? Presents challenges?
No, no, not really. You know what it is? If I had to work side by side with my wife, and everybody's like, he's not going to say it. Is he going to say it? Don't say it, Paul. No, if I had to work side by side in store with my wife, yeah, can I cover the mic? If we had to work side by side, there's no chance. Neither one of us would want that. My wife is so easygoing. She's so sweet. She's like the sweetest person on the planet, unless I piss her off or screw up. But otherwise, sweetest person. So the amount of time I deal with her, it might be a phone call here, a phone call there. If I hear from her about work 3 times a week, it's a lot. So it's not what you would think it is, but she's highly regarded, man. Everybody loves my wife. The employees love her. They certainly love her more than me. And, even like my coworkers, my brother, Kenny, if you know him, Pete, and all these guys, they love Christine, right? She's so easy to talk to, and she's like a yes person. So
yeah, our team works with her, and same,
right?
Yeah,
so
she's a great person.
Yeah, and she's a really good cook too. We were talking about this last time. I hope she is.
Reroll.
She made great taco. She's the best.
Do the kids understand the magnitude of what's happening, or?
I'm not sure. They're really proud. My kids are really, really proud.
And their pictures are hanging in Lindenhurst, at least. Yeah. I don't know if the others, but...
No, just that one. But that made me happy. That was goes back to who we are as a company. That was... I had no idea about that. I was away. I don't know where I was, but I was away. And my partner, Cliff, invited my family to his house. His wife is a still life photographer, fantastic photographer. And she took pictures of my entire family, including my father, who taught me everything I know. And I didn't even know they went there. So then the opening day of Lindenhurst, there was no art on the walls. And I'm like, guys, it's opening day, and we're not. So I run out to go grab something, and when I come back, I see my parents are there. The art's hanging on the wall, but it's covered with brown, paper or whatever. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, Paul, we got the art you wanted. I'm like, yeah, why is it covered? What is it, And then my buddy puts his arm around me. My wife's looking at me. Everybody's starting to look at me a little funny. And I'm like, something's going on here. And then they open the first one. It's my father with a pizza cutter over his eye, really cool picture, big black and white. And then they go, oh, there's more. They turn around and they open the first one. And it's my oldest son, I believe. And now I see the other 2, and I'm realizing what it is. And all of a sudden I'm like, what a works. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a sappy person like that, but I was like, oh my God. I'm like, then I look and I find out my partner, who is incredibly thoughtful, incredibly generous. He doesn't get enough credit. The person that he is an unbelievable person. And he did this for me because he would just want to see me smile that day out of the goodness of his heart. I'm not even close to that thoughtful. There's not a world that could have come up with an idea with that. I'm the guy that buy him dinner on his birthday or something, but this guy is unbelievable. So it was really it meant a lot to me, and those pictures still live on the wall today.
So I don't forget, if you could just talk about, and I remember when you guys unveiled the pictures and seeing it on social media, but every store you open, your father is there and he makes the inaugural pie. Is that fair?
Yeah, so this like means the world to me, and believe it or not, it means the world to like our team, right? I was just at the office that I'm so proud of, the new office, and we were having a meeting, and they were talking about my dad coming and what dates, and like, so how it goes is considering my dad taught me everything that I know about pizza, amongst other things. It taught me how to work, gave me opportunity. Like, I'm not sitting here without my father. That's a fact, right? So him and my uncle Dominic as well. So he taught me that. So as we open this company, every time we open a store, my father, he likes to come teach me again, right? He likes to show me. So my father started at the mall, and next thing you know, like, he started making the first pie with me. So he would stretch out the dough. He'd scoop it out. He'd stretch the dough. Then once the dough was opened up, he'd send it over to me. I'd finish stretching it, top it, put it in the oven. We'd make the first pie together at every store. And now that's grown into a tradition in the pizzeria where people know. You don't even, the dough's marked in the walk-in box. No one touches it. No one's going to make lunch for themselves prior. No, there's not a pizza that goes in that oven unless my dad's there with me to make the pizza. And now we video it, and we do it on a friends and family night, and everybody's there, and all our important people in our lives are there, and they get to watch me and my dad make the first pie, and then we make a bunch more and feed them, and we kind of have a party the night before we open. So that's become tradition. It's important to me. It's important to the company, and I think it's important to my dad. There's been one or two times my mother's, chirping, going, "When's opening day? When's opening day?" And it's always not that easy because you're waiting on the town to sign off or whatever. And I'm like, "Mom, I don't know what to tell you." And they'll be waiting in Florida, and they go back and forth. We'll be waiting in Florida, and my dad goes, "Don't make the pie without me." I'm like, "We're not opening without you, Dad. So you better make sure you're here because we got to open the store." So
part of the recipe's success, right?
It is. It absolutely is. And then even in that moment, my dad well. It's like, in that moment, he's still teaching me how to stretch the pizza dough. He goes, "No, but Paul, get your hands in there." I'm like, "Dad, I can't listen to this anymore." Halfway through making it, he's still teaching me to make the pizza. But he cares that much, and that's what I kind of took from him. So I respect and appreciate it.
But those are the things I think become so important, of like culture and being able to back it up, right? There's a lot of companies I think that out there that hang 5 core values on the wall, and then you go there and you're like, this doesn't transcend to reality, right? And I think what you guys have done on social media kind of brings that all together, and I think the people see it.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, even social media, it's fun. Like, it's organic. And Cliff, to be fair, I'll give him credit. At the very beginning, we'd start shooting or filming, and he's like, he's a chief culprit of just like, you're in a bad mood. He's like, "Oh, hey, Paul." He starts filming, and I want to like strangle him. And then we make the best of it. But at the very beginning, like, I'd make a mistake or say something like wrong, and I go, "All right, yeah, let's do it again." We're not doing anything again. He goes, "Keep going, buddy." And he wouldn't stop filming, and that's what would make it to the Instagram. So when you go back at the very beginning of our Instagram life here, it's you see it like kind of grow, and you see me like, "Oh no, we'll just take another take." There's no takes. This is organic. So now I'm very careful with what I say because there's no arguing with Cliff. It's whatever's going to happen here is going to happen here because we want to be authentic in who we are,
To add to Vin's question, so Cliff, from what I could recall, more recent, and when I say more recent, really quite a bit of time, he's not on the film. He's always filming.
He's the man behind the camera.
That's it.
How many times? I think if you really dive deep, there's like one. I think there's one Instagram with him on there, like where I can't even tell you what it was, but yeah, he doesn't want to be on film. He's always in life. He's kind of a behind the scenes guy. He's not a in front of the camera, boisterous kind of guy. He's methodical. Cliff's very, very intelligent. He's taught me a ton. Like, when we first started this company, they bought me a computer. And even though I went to college with you, Mike, right? We went to Hofstra together. Yeah. I think I cheated off you once or twice.
I was going to say, I didn't teach you anything.
No, nothing. I was trying to use this new MacBook they got me, and it's like I'm sitting here like embarrassed that I actually graduated college somehow, and I couldn't even use a computer. That's not my forte, right? So I used to have my brother at Gino's. He was like the computer guy. And so they bought me a computer. They showed me how to use a computer. And you guys, you fancy guys in payroll world, and are probably rolling your eyes like this. Come on, dude. No, really. Like, I'm sitting here going, all right, so I know how to turn it on.
Don't feel bad. You should see me and Mike.
Oh, okay, good. I feel better. I'm a good company.
You and Cliff and me and Vin are four peas in a pod.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I left up to Cliff to get me the computer. I'm like, dude, just order it for me. And he sends a pink one. It's like a rose gold pink MacBook that I'm stuck with for the past few years. And every time I have to pull it out, now I know how to use it a little bit at least. I pull it out and people are like, "You kidding me? You bought that one?" I'm like, "It's a long story, man. I left it up to Cliff and a pink one shows up in the mail, you know."
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Walk me through a little of like, you know, I guess just the involvement of the pizzeria and having to really utilize technology. I mean, you're talking about computers. I think it's, you know, I think you've seen it firsthand of just able to grow the brand, and how has technology played an important part of that?
Yeah, I think technology is tough, right? Because technology, there's a gazillion sales reps out there, and everybody has all these bolt-on products that, to be honest with you, a lot of them aren't great, right? And you have all these bolt-ons, and they don't integrate with anything. And if you bite that, you know, carrot they're dangling, you're gonna be stuck with it, right? And now you're sitting here, and then you have to undo it when it doesn't work, and you find out it's not the right one. So there's a lot going on in that. But technology certainly helped, right? We use Toast POS, which has been incredibly simplified from the days of using micros for me, and it's basically a glorified cash register. I would say I'm trying to think of some of the other technologies. Obviously, everybody's using third party now, and that integrates very well with Toast. And back in the day when I first started with micros, guys like us, old school, were going, "Is there any way we can just get it to print out of the printer when they hit the order?" And that was like the big thing. Like, oh, wait a sec. So the customer hits enter and it prints out of our pizza printer. And that was like unbelievable, right? Now there's so many more. Like, now you use it as marketing platform. You could use it as recruitment tools. You could use it as, third parties and deliveries and communication. And there's so many things. But what I would love to figure out, and we talk about this all the time in the office, is one umbrella for everything. It doesn't exist, at least that we know of. And it's like, how do you put you guys? How do you put Toast? How do you put, HR? Anything you could imagine. And there's just so many different companies. So nobody's good at everything. Everybody's good at their Toast is good as a POS system. Maybe not great in certain categories. You guys do payroll, not a POS. Everybody is great at their core, and then the things that kind of get bolted on at the end are usually less than desirable.
I think what's important is also, like, we always find, like, the communication, right? It's like the people, right? That, like you're talking before about the culture, and then, making sure that they align, is that your vendors need to align with your culture as well. And oftentimes there's technology that exists out there that's great, but it's like when you need somebody to talk to someone, it's like,
you're calling another country. I was dealing with it was like a training platform that we were entertaining, and one of the upsides is that they were based out of the West Coast somewhere, like, I think in Montana, and everybody was, in country, and they were accessible, and they were 7 days a week, and you're going, all right, so I can actually get somebody on the phone versus dealing with a generic, you call DoorDash, and, you're on the phone with somebody from where, God knows where. So, business is real time, especially in our business. Like, you have a problem with something, you need to fix, right? Especially with an order, right? If I got to call DoorDash, there's an issue, the driver left without half the order, or they didn't drop it off. Now I got to waste, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Now you're going to lose an employee or a manager?
And your business hours are not normal business hours either.
Cool.
So it's, Friday, Saturday nights at 8 o'clock is your 3 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Exactly right.
And certain companies go, you call on a Saturday at 8 o'clock. It's like, please call us Monday morning.
100. Yeah, I'm like, the DoorDash guy didn't drop the food off. So now what do we do? Yeah, tell the lady, I'll call you on Monday with your dinner order. It's like, it doesn't work like that. So, but there is. Everybody's kind of welcomed, I should say, everybody's welcomed technology into their lives, at least in this business. And it's good and bad, right? There's upside and there's a lot of downside, but, I guess you got to see what works for you, you ask my father about third-party orders. Nope, not doing it. Ain't happening, and you're like, okay. And then you ask another guy, whoever it may be, he's like, oh, I live and die on that. I need that. Can't survive without it. Can't survive without it. So it all depends what your experience is. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think it's just what works for you and what you're comfortable with, But you also got to pay for all this stuff, right? All these subscriptions add up, one by one. And then they all sound great. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've sat in a lot of pitches, and you're like, wow, that's exactly what I need. And then all of a sudden you think about it, and you ask like 1 or 2 questions. Oh, well, we're working on that, or it's in development. And then you start like dissecting, and you go,
what to say, when to say it.
Yeah, they show you what everybody wants to hear, and you're like, oh, that'll solve my problem. But you don't realize it creates another problem over here, unless you pick it up. So, and it's tough. It's hard to get out of,
Yeah. Let's shift gears a little bit. So here comes the hard questions.
You gonna talk about your wedding, or I didn't know.
Maybe some younger people come up to Paul and they say, hey, I'm thinking about getting into this business.
Yep.
What does that sound like? What do you share with them, and do you encourage it? Do you really get granular and kind of give them the all of what it looks like?
I love that. I love when people come to me for that stuff, right? I look at it very clearly. There's so many people that I learn from that help me get to wherever I am. And I don't forget. I actually remember their faces. I remember their names. I even look at my the guy Anthony, like even cousin Anthony or my Uncle Mike or, my Uncle Don, or all these people that helped me. And even if they didn't do it intentionally, just me watching as a kid, that worked, that didn't work. I wouldn't say that. Oh, he made that person smile. All these different things. So now I feel like it's my job to pass that on. I guess pay it forward, you'd say. Mm-hmm. So for me, kids have asked me to go speak in their classrooms, which actually I have to do this Friday. I think I'm going to Tamarack Elementary School to go speak on Career Day for elementary school.
Schools,
yeah, but that's important, right? And I think a lot of the team that works for me, sometimes they pick my brain on like decisions they're going to make and what they want to do with their life. And they'll ask me, how'd you get to this? And what'd you do when you did that? And why would you do this? And for me, it's important. And I like to encourage them. If you want to do this, I'm in your corner, especially if you're on my team or you're in my family, like open book, 24/7, you call me, and if I'm available, we'll chat and, I'll help you as much as I can because I like to see people be successful. And I like, what makes me happy really and like genuinely is teaching people how to work and like hitting certain expectations. And I'll give you an example. In Babylon, up until just recently, which we've been open we're coming up on a year, but I show up every day at 4:00 and I go check. We have 3 bathrooms, 2 in the dining room, and we have 1 employee, 1 in the back. And I go check all the bathrooms, usually the employee one, because it's important. The employee bathroom's clean for all the employees and all genders, right? So I want to make sure that nobody's taking advantage and there's a nice, clean bathroom for everybody, right? So I show up every day at 4:00. And little by little, they started realizing, Paul's here for the bathroom. And I started seeing all the busboys and all the guys that are in charge of the bathrooms scrambling, right? And then I saw some not scramble. And then it didn't work out for one young guy. And all of a sudden, everybody starts to move a little faster, and they start cleaning the bathrooms. What I would do is I would take them inside the bathroom, and I would clean the bathroom. And I'd show them, right? And they see the guy who owns the company showing them how to clean the bathroom. I know it's very cliche, but I actually took one kid in the bathroom, and I thought better of it afterwards. I took him in the bathroom, this kid. I shut the door, and I'm realizing I'm in the bathroom with this kid now. And I'm like, what are we doing here, Paul? So I'm like, this is not good. It's a small bathroom. Now I'm realizing, like, not a great idea. So
could be viewed a little weird.
Could be viewed a lot of weird, yeah. So
go ahead.
So I start showing him, I want this cleaned, I want that cleaned, I want this cleaned. We lift this thing up behind here, every piece of this porcelain. And you see this mirror, and then we switch the thing, and I go through the whole spiel with him. I go, you know why I'm going so nuts with this bathroom? And he goes, why? I'm like, because you need to know what the expectations are. I go, you think you can clean this bathroom the way I explained it just now? Do you have any questions at all? Did I miss anything? Are you confused? You're not confused. You heard me. You think you can do what I just showed you? The guy's like, yes. You positive? He goes, yes. Last time. Nope, good. Because your fist pound, I go, I believe you, I think you can. I go, if you can't clean a bathroom, after I just explained it to you, and I give you all these opportunities to ask me questions, and if you can't figure out how to clean this bathroom, when I come in next time and you're here, and this bathroom's not clean the way we just explained it, what are you going to do with your life? And the kid looks at me and goes, I go, you can't clean the bathroom. You're not going to go home and tell your mom and dad you can't clean the bathroom, can you? Oh my God. I go, do I have to get manager of the bathroom? I go, you know what? Even better. You're the new manager of all 3 bathrooms. He's like looking at me like I'm a complete lunatic. Let me tell you something. I came in like a week later. It just happened to be the day that kid was there. I checked the bathrooms. Unbelievably clean. Better than I could have done it. So in between that week, I see other kids. Bathroom's not great. You missed this, missed that. So I take $50 out of my pocket. And I'm walking around the entire dining room with this $50. The customer's like, what is this guy doing? And I'm like, where is he? Where's the kid? And he's like, I'm like, who cleaned the bathroom? And he goes, confidently. At first he thinks he's getting fired. He goes, I did. And I'm like, that a boy. I'm like, there it is. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I go, I couldn't have seen a cleaner bathroom than that. I took the $50, I taped it inside the waitress station over there, the room, and I put, this is Cody's 50 next week or whatever. Ask him why. And everybody's like, what's up with the 50 on the wall? Cody, why is your name on the wall? And he says, did a great job cleaning the bathrooms. I'm the bathroom manager. It was like unbelievable. But you know what? We made it fun, and he knew I was kidding around. But at the same time, that kid is an incredible teammate, incredible guy who's working for us. And you know what?
Simple task, but
vital
to customers.
I could have took that kid, anybody in the bathroom, and berated them and how they can't clean a bathroom. No, let's make it fun. And you know what? Everybody's asking this guy all week long, why is Cody getting $50? And they're just raving about a bathroom. So that may translate to maybe sweeping the floor for the next person, right?
And it's funny, Paul, that it's really it's seen by all the customers.
Yeah.
How the bathroom is, and if they feel the bathroom is clean, I think perception is they feel overall the place is clean. So
and also
as simple of a task it is for that young guy, and you're having some fun with him, and he's making a joke. It's part of the makeup of the pizzeria, no?
But it's important because, like I said, people, you don't even have to know anything about pizza to clean the bathroom, right? Everybody cleans their bathroom at their house. If you don't clean the bathroom, it's just laziness, right? If you're lazy, I can't help you, right? So it's like, I'm not asking you to go make the pies and it's the first day, you don't know how to. Just clean the bathroom.
Sure.
Make your bed, right?
Right.
It's like,
It's not a skilled position.
it's not a skilled position in that regard. Once you get going further in that position, yeah, of course. But we have a lot of great people that work for us. That's really the secret sauce. I mean, it sounds, again, cliche, but that's the secret sauce. We hunt, and we are very particular on who we let into the crazy chicken coop that we have. So we have a lot of great people, and that's really why we are where we are at the moment, the people.
Do you encourage your kids to give consideration to the business, or too soon, just because of their age?
I bring them to work in the summer. What I'll do is now my boys are the oldest. They're 12 and 11, and my daughter's 7. And 2 years ago, I bring them into, I think it was ISOP the one year. I drop them off 4 hours, the 2 little Bash brothers, and I go, guys, and I show them, go in the back and get soap and water.
Clean the bathroom.
What does that mean? Clean the bathroom. You're the bathroom manager or assistant manager? Yeah. No, so I gave him Dad, where's the bucket of water? There's guys back there, right? Go ask them. Excuse me, right? And now they figure out how to get the bucket of water in the rig. And they started cleaning underneath shelving units on the floors and the molding and detailing it. And I said, I'll be back in 4 hours. I got to do my stuff. I go, guys, they can have lunch for like 20 minutes at some point. Whatever they want, spice, whatever. Do not let them hang out. And if I find out they're not working, you guys are in trouble. I go, these guys got to work. And you know what? I got to give them credit. Usually, like, the kids don't want to work and they're lazy. My kids, they work. And I taught them, as soon as you finish a task, you go find somebody if you don't know what that task is, and you say, what's next? And you go, all right, what's next? You ask yourself, I know what's next. You'll always be working. So I go, when you don't know what to do, see that guy or that girl, go ask somebody, all right, I'm free, what's next? And they'll give you something. And you know what?
Them.
They do it. So they even asked me to come to work. I remember me rolling my eyes when they send me to work. I'm like, I don't want to go to work. I want to go to my friend's house to go in the pool. These guys asked me, Dad, can we come to work with you today? All right, yeah, let's do it. We're not driving around in the car all day, guys. We're going to be, okay, yeah, no problem. And they work.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. That makes me happy. So I hope if it's something they want to do, maybe in their future, I'm okay with it. I mean, my dad always wanted me to get a real job. And I said, well, I think I have a real job. Pizza's a real job to me. And I think he meant like something with a suit and tie or whatever, but it's not for me. You can tell the way I talk and the way who I am. I'm not a suit and tie guy, and I don't apologize for it. So if my kids want to do whatever they want to do, as long as they're good at it and they enjoy it, I don't care. It's all good.
I guess ultimately you got 2 educations, right? From Hofstra. And then,
yeah, sort of education,
Street.
Thank God I played soccer. I'd still be sitting in that classroom if I didn't play soccer. So thank God they helped me out there. But I do have the piece of paper. I think it's framed. My mom got it framed. She was so proud. And it's underneath. It's in my closet behind my jeans on the bottom row. It's sitting there waiting to be hung up since 2004. So it's all good.
It's awesome. Makes up part of the story.
Yeah, it is. It's been fun, man. For me, this is like a great ride. And I've met so many people. I mean, if you need somebody, I got somebody for every trade. I mean, I've met everybody along the way here.
And if you need somebody, I'll grab one of the T-shirts and I'll jump right in. Right?
He says this every time, right? So every time I open a store, Mike's like, or it's a busy day that he knows of, Halloween or something, he's like, he'll call me. He goes, you need me? I'm like, Mike, what do you want from me? He's like,
I wear the T-shirt underneath the dress shirt, like Superman. Yeah.
Just in case, we call Mike the payroll guy. He'll jump in behind the counter.
Count on me. Yeah.
That's it. You may not be able to work the POS, but
no, well, probably better than me, to be fair. Now, and I catch myself doing that at work. Like I'll pick the phone up for whatever reason. I'm like, what? I picked the phone up. Now I realize I'm like the old guy, like my dad, like looking on a thing like this, trying to figure out where the buttons are, and I'm like, this is embarrassing. I'm like, just stay in your lane, Paul. Keep smiling and shaking people's hands, I guess.
And what's like, we keep seeing it, and just we had prior guests of just like, what's been like a cool story of people coming in that you just feel like either has meant a lot to you or just meeting interesting people.
Yeah. You know what's really like satisfying and makes you feel good for the customers? It's like we've built a cult-like following. And we don't have the best pizza in the world, right? Pizza's subjective, right? Anybody that says they have the best pizza, it's like insane. It's like it's the vibe, it's the culture, it's the way you treat people. We have a guy, Sal the mailman, in Bayshore. He comes and sits at the bar after work with his friends and has a glass of wine, and brings us gifts. And there's another couple the other night that was telling me how much our team at Bayshore meant to them, and that one of our guys for Valentine's Day, they come every Friday. It fell on a Friday this year, and one of our guys, Dan Clayton, store manager in Bayshore, just great guy. He knew that it was going to be busy that night. They probably wouldn't get their standard seat at the bar. He gets a wine glass, somehow found out their anniversary date. I don't know how they did that. And he got a glass labeled, their initials, heart, and it had their anniversary date on it. So they walked in, he sat them at a table instead of the bar. And then when they got their glass of wine, he poured it into the wine glass with I'm like,
stalker.
Well, yeah, some would say a little odd. I guess I looked at it like, that's what the company's built on, right?
Going above and beyond.
That's above and
beyond.
beyond.
Ask him to do it.
That's like it's that book by what's his name, Will Gadira. It's Unreasonable Hospitality, right? This guy's going so far, and I looked at him, and I didn't even know this story. This is a month ago. He didn't say nothing. He just did it out of the goodness of his heart without looking for any praise. And so our customers, again, to answer your question, they're grateful. They're happy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing this to our town in Babylon. We really needed this. Things happen in life too, right? And when you're there, right? Somebody, God forbid, somebody passed away, right? And we sent food to somebody, or hey, we knew so and so to you, and he meant a lot to us. I want to send some food to your house for Christmas Eve. I know he's not around this year, right? And that person's like comes and gives you a big hug, and those are the things that matter. And when you say, what do you do for the community? You care, right? And I think when people see you're genuine, it's not about the money, it's not about business, it's about being good people and genuinely caring. That's, to answer your question, like the connections with the customers, knowing things about their lives and them being so grateful that you care, and then keeping you up to date on what's going on in their life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what sticks out in my head as far as, one, how we've built this, but two, as far as interactions with customers and things that stick out in my head are like when people look at you and they're like genuinely grateful, like just thank you. You're like, I'm the pizza guy. Like, I'm just feeding you. But at the same time, I do realize what, us and our team do, like Dan Clayton with the wine glass. Like that lady will remember that forever. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, Mike brought up earlier just, advice to give to like a new restaurateur coming into the business. Like, what do you find is like the most overlooked thing in starting a restaurant for a new person?
Learn people's names. That's what I would say. I used to cheat, right? So that people call in and you have tickets, right? So you have someone's name on there. And it said Mike, and it was a guy, like, go for it. Hey, Mike, what's happening, brother? The next thing you know, he says, hey, how do you know my name, right? And that would work until you got to the guy who was like picking up for his friend. His name was Joe or something. And it was like, all right, but hey, Mike, Joe, whatever. Now he laughs, I laugh. And now I remember his name's Joe. And I think, again, if you're genuine and you care and you want to get to know people, and you care what their story is, and you see their kid wearing something funny or whatever, and you're like, hey, what's going on here? Now you don't forget that name of the kid. And, people care about their families and the people they love. And if you care about the people they love even more than them, that's another level, right? So if you have your own kids and you think about it, if I go and your kids I'm so nice to your kids, I remember their name, and maybe they're Yankee fans, and I mess around with them and steal his hat or whatever, and they're always so good to my kids, that's what makes you happy, right? So I think it's important to develop a connection, authentic, genuine connection with people, and then that will you'll start to reap a lot of reward from that. And I don't just mean financial, but it'll be financial, but it'll also be personal. I think your heart will get bigger, and I think you'll enjoy it. And it also makes the day go by a lot faster, and you start to meet a lot of people. So if you need that light change in your house, you might have met an electrician along the way, but it's genuine. It's you're doing it because you care, not looking for anything in return. And I think you'll be surprised what you get in return from it.
How do you do that you continue to grow and teach your staff to do that? Because
it's hard,
right? At some point, it may have diminishing return just because of sheer size. But
yeah, that's hard. You got to kind of, I don't want to say breed yourself. That's not what it is. But you got to either show through someone's visual or their experience. You have to lead by example, right? And if they see it, it's non-negotiable. And they'll notice that return. They'll see that person light up. They'll see me rub someone's back and me smile, and they just inherently smile, right? There's something there. If I can pass a feeling, any feeling, a feeling that's obviously positive, if I can give you a feeling, the pizza tastes better and you're coming back. I see people walking out the door smiling. They don't know why they're smiling. They're leaving because we either made them laugh, we asked them a question, we cared about their kids, We pat them on the back. We remember their face, remember their name, right? We asked them a question about last time, whatever it is. But if I can transfer a feeling over, that a genuine positive feeling that makes them smile, and it's up to me to do that. If I can do that, that person comes back. They don't even know why they're coming back, but they love the pizzeria. They love how it makes them feel when they're there. Again, pizza may not be the best in the world, but it's the feeling they're returning to. So if I can transfer that to the team, and they can do it one by one. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and on and on and on. Then we have something there. And if you tell me that's non-negotiable at every location, maybe there's 3 or 4 leaders at every location that hold that standard and operate and lead by example, then I think it can transfer. I think that just becomes the standard.
Is there something the pizzeria can do better, improve on?
100
something
things
you don't
sure.
like that's being worked on that you could talk about?
Yeah, I think communication is tough. When I say communication, I mean across the company. Right, as you grow and scale, it's hard to, people may say, "Oh, you should get Slack," or there's so many different communication platforms, and you can really litter the company with things that are not important, things that are you're wasting people's time. So you got to imagine that inside the pizza restaurant world, people are moving and shaking, right? So it's like they don't have time to check their phones, right? In the middle of, like you said, like a Saturday night at 7:00, it's like the guy's not on his phone, answering your email, or it's a different world, right? And we can't just get to it later. So communication's been something we've struggled with as far as what's important now, which we call our wins, what's important now, or what can wait till later, and deciphering, and then having the foresight of the teammates to know and diagnose what's important, what's for later, like leave that for tomorrow, and not bothering them. Where you want to get things off of your plate, put it on theirs, but not for now. But if I don't give it to you now I got to set a calendar invite for tomorrow. It's like a calendar reminder. It's like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people, and not everybody's the same, right? So one size doesn't fit all. So you have to kind of really navigate this. So we've struggled a bit with communication. I would say something we haven't struggled with is hiring. We've been really, really good at hiring and finding people, great people. I think morale has been always great in our stores. We have a lot of non-negotiables. Again, it's leading by example. It's core values. It's our mission statement. It's living. It's being who we said we're going to be and doing what we said we're going to do. And I like to walk around with my head up. And if I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, right? And I think, and I've led by example, right? If someone's paycheck was short one time because, I made a mistake. One time I left Fire Island on vacation and I came back and the guy was like, "You could have given it to me on Monday." It wasn't that. It's me proving a point. Sure. Going, principle. I said this was going to happen. I made a mistake. You have a family at home. You have bills to pay. It's your $50. I'm here. And the guy was like blown away. I'm sitting in like a bathing suit and a tank top going. He's like, "What are you doing?" And it's Saturday.
But it's respected.
It's important. And, people see that and then they operate the same way.
Now, do you think like the dynamic between like you and Cliff coming from him coming from a more corporate world and you coming from more of a, pizzeria world has really valued because you talk about like core values, mission statement, like that's a very corporate thing. Was it
That's
Cliff?
not me. Yeah, it's Cliff.
That was all Cliff?
Yeah, well, yes, it's Cliff. It's we have an in-house performance coach, which you wouldn't know about. So this lady Julia, who's probably a cross between Wendy Rhodes from Billions and
Richard Simmons,
a hippie, the mom from Meet the Fockers. Yeah, she's fantastic, and she just thinks differently, right? And she keeps us kind of honed in on what's important, what's not important. She's really been kind of a bit of a guiding light for us. Cliff speaks with her quite often. We all do. We all do. And she's really kind of kept us on course. And again, she thinks differently. So it's really nice to bounce ideas off to her and go, "What if you thought about it like this, Paul?" And now I'm like, I would have never thought about it like that. So I'm really glad you mentioned it. So as I was leaving the office today, she was walking in to join in on one of the meetings. And, that's something unique, right? Name a pizza place, let's call us, right, that has a performance coach on retainer in the company. It doesn't exist, right? So she helped us create core values and mission statements.
And that just also adds to why you've been able to be successful and grow and expand. And you say, hiring has not been one of your problems because it's like you said, that just kind of organically people see that, right? And they want to be part of that team. So
100%. I get calls all the time, like people even leaving different fields. I had people leaving finance jobs, like in let's say a hospital, and they want to join the pizzeria, and I'm like scratching my head, like, where were these people, like, 15 years ago at Gino's when I couldn't find a pizza man? It's like, but the world's different now, and it's not just college anymore. So I think, people want to be happy. It's not always about money. Some people it is, but I think most people, they want to feel seen. They want to be appreciated. They want growth. Growth is the one word. Like, that's all. If you ask somebody that's on an interview, what are you looking for? I want opportunity. I want growth. Really? Okay. So people want to go from A to B to C. So you got to provide that pathway forward. And if you're not, you're going to lose them to somebody else that is, bigger, better, grander,
You've painted a pretty good picture of what the pizzeria brand is. Talk about, like, Paul personally. What?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
What? That I know, but for listeners,
yeah.
How do you balance? Probably going back to really where we started the conversation. Just personal life. What do you like to do? What do you enjoy?
Yeah.
How do you decompress mentally?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. I don't even know if I have a great answer.
I don't ask a lot of them, but go ahead.
No, that was probably the best one you ever asked. No, you know what? I love soccer growing up, right? I was a big soccer guy. That kind of what joined me and Cliff. Cliff and I played soccer together forever. My brother Danny, our other partner, he's a big soccer guy. My kids play soccer. So I enjoy watching my kids play soccer. I enjoy meeting people. I don't really have any hobbies, which I need to find one. I'm not a great golfer. I don't really love golf. Every time I go to a golf outing, I'm like, after the ninth hole, the wheels fall off and I'm discouraged.
Where's the bar?
Yeah, I'm really great at the bar. I'm like, I'm an athlete at the bar. I'm thriving. But no,
that's why you have a bar. At the
that's
pizzeria.
Really
that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's really
You're
what.
Like, let me just bring both of my favorite
Surprise.
worlds together.
But no, yeah. Listen, for me, I spend most of my time with family. We do like a Sunday dinner as often as possible, where it's extended. I got two of my buddies that I grew up playing soccer with, bought houses on my block, and my parents live behind me, and my brother bought the horse farm next to me, and we have like, just nothing fancy, but just. We're always around each other, and now it's about like the children, my nephews, my nieces, watching them run around in my backyard. And we have like this old beat up golf cart that the kids all ride around on, and I find amusement in that. And for me, I do agree that I need some sort of, not that you suggested this, Mike, but I do agree that I need some sort of hobby or something. But for me, I like spending time with my wife and my kids and just kind of relaxing, whether they want to go to the beach or out to dinner. And I'm kind of a simple guy,
Besides pizza, like where do you like?
Great question. Great question.
2 great questions in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I expected it from Vin. But, I was surprised by you, Mike. That was very nice.
No contest there.
No, come on. You know where I went recently, which was really good, and they're in the same town. I guess it's on the Italian side, but I went to the new place in Babylon called Talina. It was a little pasta spot, small restaurant.
Heard of it.
Let me tell you, it was fantastic. I wanted to eat the plate when I was done. It was all homemade pastas, Italian guy and his wife. It was just delicious.
It's on Deer Park Avenue, right?
Deer Park Avenue, right near Lily Flanagan's
by
over
the
there.
train station.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. There's a new taco spot that just opened, but not that I'm promoting Babylon. There's a taco spot, Taco Fresco, which is outrageous, right but it's a little place. You can't even eat inside. You got to take it to go. Right by the Babylon train station. It was unbelievable. But going out to dinner, depending on what type of food, we always eat in my house. It's always sushi. If we're going out, it's probably steak. We go to Teller's or what else? I'm going to draw blanks, but there's a lot of good spots. King's Chop House I like in...
Hot Dog?
No, King's in Bayshore. Yeah, it's a good
right.
spot. Brixton, I'm always at the Brixton in Babylon. That's another great spot. But yeah, no, I'm always around. My wife is more of like the salad eater. So we'll go out, she'll order the Caesar salad. No croutons, no cheese.
High-end Caesar salad.
House dressing. Yeah. But no, she's like not a big foodie, but she likes to go out with me, and her and I have a great time. We'll have a glass of wine. And so me, I'm pretty flexible, but we usually like, the same places. We order in from the sushi guy. He knows us by name. This guy, Sam Sushi in Farmingville. What a gentleman. He delivered to me the...
Sounds fresh.
Sam's is fresh. But yeah, he delivered personally to my house the other day. I got to shake his hand, Big Sam.
Wow.
That was nice. Yeah, it was a big night for me.
Anywhere that you guys vacation in particular?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, not every year. I don't know if you see the ashiness here. I was supposed to aquafor the arms before I got in here, but I was just in Dominican Republic. We went to Casa de Campo, it's called, on the south side of Dominican. That was outrageous. golf cart community. Mike, burned the first day. Started peeling the third day. Beautiful bronze tan by the fourth and fifth day. So I felt good. But my wife and kids had a blast, and it was a really nice place. But we were going to Rincon, Puerto Rico, probably for like 3-4 years in a row, which we liked. Very easygoing. We used to go. We'd go with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and their kids.
That's a big surf area.
Surf area, not that I know I look quite like the fit surfer, but I'm saying it. We used to go there because it was very authentic. It was like a quick flight. It felt like you were certainly in a different country. Now it's becoming a little more gentrified and like the secret's out, so it's losing its luster to me a bit.
Nick has Casa Islena there, right? You saw him?
So Nick had set us up for dinner there, and I met his partner. I didn't get to see Nick, but outrageous, man. Those guys like went over the top. The food is fantastic. It was called Casa Islena, you said, right?
Yeah, I think
it was like a beautiful location on the water, and they were doing an unbelievable job.
There too, right?
Yeah, my aunt goes there for a month now. She loves it. I mean, her husband is a ex fireman, New York City fireman, and supposedly there's just a ton of
cops and firemen
from
down
like
there.
Long Beach, Rockaway area. They're just
You couldn't have said it anymore. Yeah, you're spot on. Everybody there's from Long Beach, Fire Island. They go like back and forth like when the seasons change. And yeah, I've seen the retired cops down there. This one big guy's been by the pool every single time I've been there at the hotel, to the point where we were like, "What do we come the same weekend?" He's like, "I'm here for months." He goes, "He's a big boy." And he goes, "I'm a retired cop, I think he was," and he's like one of these Irish Long Beach guys, But they're a dime a dozen down there. But then you also have, the people from that country, and it has a lot of charm to it. But like I said, a lot of Americans are coming, and the word's out, so it's changing a little bit.
What where do you see Pizzeria 3 years, 5 years, maybe 10? And what's your legacy? Now I
Three, yeah. I mean, that's a tough one. I'd love to get to 15 or 20 locations on Long Island at some point. Hopefully have some sort of liquidity event where everybody kind of cashes out a bit, whether that's partially and we keep going along for the next phase, or it's entirely and then we do something else. I don't know. But it's got to be right. It doesn't have to be right for me. I'm not really a money guy. For me, doesn't make me all that happy. I mean, it's obviously nicer to have money than not, but for me, it's about the others, right? And I know it's a little corny, but I want to change some people's lives, man. I want some of these people that have been along with us for the ride to really cash out. Maybe they pay their house off. Maybe they put their kids through college. Maybe, they help somebody out of a bad situation. Whatever it is, that'll be really fulfilling for me. So I hope inside the next 5 years that happens. We have some sort of liquidity event. Then after that, I mean, I'll work forever. There's not a world that I want to work on my own terms at that point, but I don't know. I can't imagine really doing something different, but I think what I would do is, again, create the world I want to live in with whatever skill set I have and whoever wants to come along with me, and, do something that's fun. And I think we're getting a lot of knowledge in this kind of run that we're on, good, bad, and ugly, to be fair, but we're learning from all the mistakes we're making as we run this very much similar to a startup. So we're making mistakes every day, we're learning, and I'm hoping with all this knowledge we're gaining that we could be really good at the next thing we do. So we'll see.
And to be remembered for what?
Taking care of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want people to be like, that guy's a great guy. Like, oh, Paul said that? Oh, you're good. Like, my word has to mean something that's important to me. The same way I, got on the ferry and brought the $50 to the guy, right? It's like, that's what means, that means a lot to me. And making sure our team's taken care of. And I always say that my job in the company is to take care of them, meaning the team. I work for them, and my job is to make sure they're happy. My job is to make sure they're taken care of. Their families are good. And that's kind of my role. So that's, my legacy will be, I always tell my own kids, your jobs will be better than me. My jobs will be better than my dad, right? And when I say better, I don't mean money. I mean, if I'm a good person, be a better person, right? If I'm a grateful person, be more grateful. If I'm a hard worker, be even a harder worker than me. Whatever it is, in whatever field you're a teacher, be a great teacher, right? But I want you to be the best you can be, and almost like set a bar and go try to pass me. No pressure, but try to pass me. And you know what? That's what I've tried to do every day with my dad, and I hope that translates to my kids. And like I said, I hope my kids see how I treat people and how I care about people and how much I try to help people genuinely. And I hope they take that along with them. Because if you're a good person, for some reason, the stars seem to align for you. And I always tell people these days where I go, I'm the luckiest guy you ever met. I'm like, there's no question about it. I go, don't take me to Atlantic City. I go, we'll lose it all. But I said, as far as life, I said, you treat people the right way, I don't want to use the word karma, but I think that it's kind of almost, it's karma. It's like, you know, if you treat people the right way, it comes back to you. And I
Put good energy out.
I see it happen to me all the time. You know how many times I see like something bad happen and I'm like, why is this going on? Nowadays, I'm like, that happened for a reason. I'm not sure why, but something's coming. Like, I can't wait. And I almost see it a little differently where I perk up going, oh no, I'm glad we lost that guy. Or I'm glad, you know, it was slow that day. Or I'm glad something's coming. And then all of a sudden, whatever it is pops. And I go, there it is. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, we say that all the time. I mean, it's one door closes, a better one's going to open.
See, that's a smart way to say it.
Yeah. Well, continued success, Paul.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you coming on and just being open and honest. And
I was open and honest, right?
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I love Vinny so much. But he doesn't take my stuff. I love it.
I like that you told me I asked great questions. You know.
Yep. I was hoping you were going to tell everybody how I was in your wedding party, and that the only reason I got invited because you needed people that had hair. I saw the lineup, and his wife's like, "I'll pay for the flight." He's like, "We need hair in the photo." I was like, "I can come to Aruba. It's not a problem."
Maybe the next visit. Why don't we just have the picture here?
That'd be unbelievable.
I think you probably had a little hair in that picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on.
Mike.
Listen, we were running up. We were
going.
definitely running uphill against Adrian's uncle.
Oh my God.
60-year-old jacked up guy with hair.
Oh, forget it. Full head of hair. The guy was in great shape. The brother-in-law comes out like an Adonis. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Gianni.
But Gianni.
Yeah, I'm. Listen, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
A lot of fun today, and keep at it because obviously you guys are making some serious noise. And listen, kudos to you. Others are mirroring your model.
It's a nice
Pizzerias
compliment.
that didn't have a bar are now having a bar, and obviously there's something to be said. So I know you guys will continue on your path.
let's hope that they follow the bathroom model because I've been in a lot of pizzerias that have some disgusting bathrooms.
Yep.
And
My advice is don't lock any kids in the bathroom with you. That's my advice. I'll leave you with that.
Keep the door open while you're doing the lesson.
The lesson, yeah.
But listen, guys, I really appreciate you having me. You guys, you know, I've known you a long time. I'm so proud of you guys and what you guys are building, and you guys are doing almost the payroll version of what we're doing, right? You guys have changed the whole game in that world, and it's nice for me, and I'm not just blowing smoke for my buddy Mike and you, Vinny. It's like, for me, it's really nice to have somebody you can count on, that you could trust, that answers the phone like I do 24/7. So I appreciate what you guys do professionally, and I appreciate what you guys do for me as friends, and I felt grateful to be invited here, so thank you.
Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.